Welcome to the Traders Corner podcast. We can find all things Forex, whether that be platform or course reviews, general market education, or current market events. You can find it all here at the Traders Corner podcast. Roll the intro, Zay. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about our processes and routines. We're basically just going to be doing a quick discussion basically around, what they are very quickly, because we feel like once we started worrying about our processes and routines, that's when we'll really start to see those, leaps and bounds happen in our trading. And, I definitely can speak for it personally. From trying to worry about it very recently, I definitely have seen probably the biggest improvement in my trading in such a short period of time, just from worrying about my processes and routines. So we feel it's definitely, a very important topic to touch on, especially for newer traders out there. So just to get it started, D Hart, what are your pre-trading routines? So before you enter into the market on any given day, what does that look like for you? And I know we probably might have touched on it a little bit in past episodes, but, just to give us a bit of a refresher.
Okay. So, I'm currently not I currently don't have a set. Well, I guess I do have a set time that I trade, but my sleep schedule has been terrible the last 2-3 weeks. So, what I've been doing, I've been staying up till 4 or 5 in the morning. I've been staying up till you wake up, and then we would talk for a little bit, and then I would go to sleep for the night.
I've been wondering why.
That's how. Yeah. I would literally just be up. You know what I'm saying? So I would trade from I would look for trades from about 1 to 4, 5 a.m. and then that was the time that I would start looking to trade. And then every time before I would even enter the market, no matter if I was up or not, I would always meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. And I feel like that is very important, just because you don't let's say you had a good day or a bad day, it doesn't matter what it was, meditation will help you clear your head, and it's kind of it's like hitting the reset button, and then now you're going to the charts where you want to be not emotionless, because we're human, but you want to take as much emotion out of your trading as possible. So I meditate 5 to 10 minutes before I look at the charts, and then I have my trading plan behind me, and then I briefly go over what's in my trading plan, so I can keep it in my mind, what are my daily targets, what do I want, let's say how much money do I want to make each day, and or how much money am I willing to lose in a day. If I hit that if I lose that much, then I'm done trading that day. You know what I'm saying? So
you have targets that you want to hit for the day?
Yeah. Well, it's not that it's a target, but it's my maximum. So if I hit this,
lose at the maximum or just lose?
Say that again.
Sorry. So if you have a max amount that so let's say, for example, you win 3 trades in a row, you say to yourself, okay, I've won 3 trades in a row, so now I'm done. So it's kind of that, or is it just that with losing?
It's more of a percentage.
Okay.
It's more of a percentage.
But I'm saying is the percentage do you base it off of?
No, it's wins and losses, because I don't want to get greedy.
Okay.
Because a key part in the course that I took, Austin Silver, great course, by the way. Anyways, so a key part in his course was saying that don't be greedy in the market, and whenever you make money, don't give it back. Which is I like that a lot, because I've done that. I've been greedy, and I made a 30 pip, I got a 30 pip move, and then I lost 15 pips the very next trade. You know what I'm saying? I just shot myself in the foot.
Right.
Stuff like that. So
yeah, I only ask because often hear people say oh, don't have set targets in mind for how much you want to make in a day. But I think it was probably just the way you said it at first, because that's what it sounded like. But what you're saying now makes way more sense, in that you're just making sure you don't overtrade, either winner or loser. You just don't let your emotions get involved. So that definitely makes a lot of sense, and it's actually something I would definitely recommend. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that I do it, because I don't. I never even thought about doing that. But it's honestly now that you say that, I could definitely see myself having that problem of giving a lot of money back to the market. I think I've been lucky in recent trading, in the recent trading period where it was like, even when I did win, there wasn't a lot more opportunities that day for me to trade anyway. So I kind of couldn't give my money back to the market in that same day. But I could definitely see myself doing that. So I'm gonna have to start looking into that. What about you, Zay? What are some like pre-trade routines that you have, if any? I know you're still in that like testing phase and everything like that.
Before I get into that, I want to like go back to what Daniel just said about like the thing, like that comment he just made about
Targets.
having the targets or whatever. Personally, I don't think that would work for me because I'm more of the mindset like you're supposed like you're not supposed to limit. I don't want to limit myself in that way. Like I know like you're not supposed to be greedy or whatnot, but like I think as long as you're still trading like as you've traded like the whole time and like not taking like you're not forcing opportunities, but you don't just stop trading. You know what I'm saying? Like that's more of like the mindset I want to be of, like not.
Well, I feel like I get that from your standpoint, just because you're on like the opposite end of the spectrum where like you're okay missing trades, but like me, like if I see a good entry and like a good setup, I'll be like, yeah, like I need to get in there, like that this could be a good move. You know what I'm saying? So like I want to be in trades. I'm working on my FOMO mindset. So like that kind of helps
I
me
feel like
just
Okay,
like walk away from the charts. Like that
I feel like
that
too,
helps
like
my mental trading mentality.
recently I heard this thing where it was like, you don't want to be overexposed to the market, because he was like, think about it logically. Like when you were back testing, let's say you have a set amount of percent that you risk on each trade. Like for example, I risk like 1%, right? So if I'm back testing, that means every single trade I'm only ever risking 1%. So that means like I've only ever like practiced risking 1% at one time, right? Like I haven't practiced being in 5 different trades at one time. Well, I'm not saying you can't be in 5 different trades. I think you have to think about like market exposure too when you think about like being in a lot of trades in one day, just because it's like, although you might not be risking a different amount like on each trade, you're still risking more than you're used to risking in the market. Like if you think about it logically, like even if I take a trade on USD CAD, Aussie USD, New Zealand USD, USDN, and Euro USD, they're all different pairs. And let's say I take 6 trades, I'm not risking 1% anymore. I'm risking 6%.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I think that's kind of where it comes from, in that like you don't want to be putting too much, giving the market too much opportunity to take your money away. Because like, I'm not saying like it's trying to take your money away, because the market doesn't care about you. Like the market's very indifferent to you. But I think
that's what
I was just pushing back to your response, because I think like that's kind of where it comes from. It's not so much telling the market that like I'm not going to take every single opportunity that's out there, but it's like, think about it this way. If D Hart knows he can only pick like, let's say 3 trades, I don't know how many like is your max, but let's say you only take 3 trades a day, you're only going to take the best trades possible, right? Like if you have an A+ setup, a B setup, a C setup, and a D setup, and you can only take 3 trades, you're not going to waste your time on the D setup knowing that you have these A, B, and C setups around the corner. So I think it's kind of from that mindset too.
Yeah, but in that same vein, like I still think you're missing on opportunities that you would have taken. Because like if you see that same opportunity the next day and like then and you would take it, then why wouldn't you take it that same day? You know what I'm saying? Like even
I get what you're
I think
saying,
it's
but
because the
like
mindset
every individual
I
trade is
understand
unique.
where it comes from. Like I get your point, but I'm just saying like if if you're not taking opportunities like that you would take any other day, then I don't necessarily understand that. You know what I'm saying?
because not every opportunity,
Like
first off, not every opportunity is going to play out. You know that. And you have to, okay, so for the example I just gave, let's just say he didn't take the D trade and he took every other trade, and every other trade lost and the D trade won. That's still, he didn't do anything wrong. Like that's just probabilities. Like you saying that I have to take this trade because it's an opportunity is the same thing as me saying like, I know what's going to happen, because like I'm saying, because this is an opportunity, like I have to be in this opportunity. But it's kind of more to what I'm saying is like, exposure, right? Like it's more about capital preservation at the end of the day. Like while taking opportunities is yes important and growing our account is definitely important, like at the end of the day, we're risk mitigators and capital preservers. Like that's the most important thing. And like I'm not saying that you have to think this way and you have to only expose yourself to a certain amount of risk in the market each day. I just think you have to think about it in a different light than just I'm missing opportunities, because you have to also think about there is some element of money there. Like think about it this way. Let's say 3 trades come across your desk and you take 3 losses and then another one comes across your desk. But kind of like to D Hart's point, like he has that rule where he's supposed to stop, but like he doesn't have the rule now. Let's say he doesn't have the rule and it comes across his desk, and because he doesn't have that rule, like he's just going to say, I'm taking this trade. And he doesn't even stop to think like, is this even really a trade? Because it's like he's saying, it's kind of more of a mindset thing. Like it's not even just about the opportunities. It's just about like you telling yourself, there's no need for me to expose myself to this much risk in any given day, just because like I see all of these opportunities. There'll be more opportunities tomorrow. Like,
but I was more saying like of the token of like, you know how you say you're like playing your edge when you make your
no, and that's what I'm saying. I completely get what you're saying.
Like you have to give
no.
The opportunity to
right,
play.
Right. And I get what you're saying, but I think what you think is like, because I'm not giving it this opportunity, there's never going to be another opportunity. And like, I know that's not what you're saying, but you saying that I have to take this trade right here today is basically saying that tomorrow there will be no other trade. Like I'll never get a trade again.
I see what
and
you're
so it's saying. Like, it's kind of like a give and a take where you don't want to like, you know, you just have to understand what you're doing.
I was just saying, be careful. Like, don't let it stop you from like taking your opportunities just because you're losing. Like you're always gonna be like, there are gonna be times when you're losing.
Yes.
That doesn't mean never trade again. Is what I'm saying.
The rule was basically created just to like, one, to protect my mentality, like, and especially early on, like I don't want to develop bad habits of like over trading and stuff like that.
I was just saying like, be careful about it, because like what I do.
And it can also be edited. Like I cannot, like whatever it is now, I can also like increase it depending on like my account growth and stuff like that.
Because I'm saying like, if I'm just saying like, that's a fine, like it's fine to do, but I just mean like, don't let it get to that point where you're missing out on opportunities just because you're like losing, just because you lost your previous trades. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, I think, you know, I don't think it'll ever, like, as long as you stick to, it's because I, you know, took this many trades, I don't think it'll ever get to that point, just because it's like, it's a rule-based thing. Like, it's not like he's just doing it just because he feels like he shouldn't be in the market. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I was just saying, like, if, let's say it's 3 trades, right? Let's say your first 3 trades of the day, you lost. So that means you're just not going to trade the rest of the day. That was just my question. Because
it's not like a number of trades.
It's always like
based off of like account percentage. Like if I lose this much percentage in one day, like, all right, like cut your losses. Like today wasn't your day. Regroup, come back tomorrow.
Got you. Okay.
Right. Because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, there's always going to be a tomorrow in the market. Like people are going to need to move their currencies today, tomorrow, whatever, whenever. You know what I'm saying? So there's always going to be opportunities in the market. And I think that's kind of, it comes more from that side, not so much being gun shy about losing, but understanding that, you know, I don't, like, every day in the market doesn't have to make me as a trader, right? Like I can have a bad day and just be like, this was a losing day and I'll just come back tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But Zay, what are your pre-trade routines, if any? Because I know you're still in that like testing phase.
I don't necessarily have like routines because I'm not like trading live or anything like that. But I have given it thought. So you want to hear like those thoughts?
Yeah.
So like what I want to do is like, so y'all know I'm more of a night owl. Like I don't get up super early or anything. So whenever I get up, like, but I still want to get up at a consistent time so that I'm like, so that it's a routine. So like, I was thinking like 9-ish, whatever. I wake up, take my shower, do my exercise or whatever. And then like, once I look at the chart, I want to give it like an hour or two, like looking at the charts where I'm like looking for trades.
Go ahead and push back on that already.
All right, go ahead. What's up?
I'm not trying to again, this isn't me trying to say that like we know when stuff's going to happen in the market, and you can never know for sure because I've had trades that didn't move all morning and then they dropped in the afternoon. But I've definitely had way more days where I was looking in the morning and then I looked in the afternoon and there was way less movement in the afternoon. And I just think like you're like waking up at 9 and giving yourself an hour, like you're really
Well, I
cutting.
don't.
Like,
That wouldn't take me an hour
yeah,
necessarily to look at it. I just mean that's like the way I like get up is. Well, I guess I could.
The only
basically all I
only
was saying was
issue
just
only
consider
issue
waking
with
up a
like
little
9
bit
a.m.
Or
earlier.
you say like look at it
the
before
most
I do like all that.
No, I'm
the
saying
most
all I was saying was
volatile
just
time in
consider
the
waking
market.
up a little bit
Or you
earlier.
saying getting up earlier.
Yeah, just get up like because it's like the market opens at 9:30. The London session's already closed by like 10 or 11.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
most
like,
volatile
I was
time
just
in the market is
yeah,
the
so.
changeover of day between the
So you're
London
saying like
session
get
and
up
the
a little earlier
short
so I
session.
can
right.
actually.
But it's like, if you're if you know you're just gonna trade the Asian session the whole time, then like, maybe you get up a little later. But I definitely wouldn't recommend like getting up at like
This is still a
10.
work in progress. So
Yeah, no.
that number I just threw that 9 o'clock out
No,
there.
yeah, no.
That's
This is
just
about like developing your own personal routine, whatever works for
Right.
you.
I'm not trying to tell you you're like wrong or
no.
anything.
You don't
Like,
have to.
yeah.
No, I understand you're giving me feedback, so I
Mhm.
don't have a problem with like you stopping me and telling me that. But okay, so let's push it earlier to like 8 or 7 even, so I can give myself time to actually get all my like morning stuff like showering and working out whatever out of the way, and then I look at the market.
So you would say you would like after you wake up, you would shower and you would work out before looking at the charts.
Yeah, because it's just after I work out, I feel like I'm whenever like when you after you work out, you just feel more like awake.
Like awake, yeah.
Yeah. So like I don't want to be like still rubbing the dust out of my eyes when I'm thinking. It's like the same how you meditate. You know what I'm saying? It kind of just like resets yourself so that you're like so that you're ready to go. That's all I was
All right.
saying about that. And then I haven't worked it out much farther than that, but like just like looking at the charts for like
It doesn't
an
have to
hour.
be complicated. Like
Hmm?
you just
I
want to
will
wake
say
up,
though,
work
Yeah,
out,
it's just like
shower.
I was just saying, get up,
Yeah.
whatever, do my morning stuff,
My-
and then
I will say though that I've heard Akil talk about this like a lot recently, and it's the fact like that you want to schedule trading around your lifestyle and not your lifestyle around like trading, which
yeah,
basically means like you
which
want
is
like whatever your lifestyle is, trade like pick a time to trade in that day based off of that.
mhm.
Instead of like you want to trade at this certain time of day and then schedule everything around that because
No, okay,
one like he has like a family and stuff like that, so like
Yeah.
he used to be waking up at like 2-3 a.m and then go in and trading, and like he was like yeah like that's like that was when I was more like I was making more money that way, but like at the cost of like me doing stuff with my kids because like he would go to sleep earlier and then like that's less time at in the evenings and stuff that he would get to spend with his kids and like stuff like that. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
kind of
but
just like a difference.
either way, I was
mentality.
just saying like if I do it the way I have it planned, if I do it like this, then I still have like the rest of the day to like do my other stuff that I need to do. You know?
Yeah, I think as long as you're consistent with it, that's
Yeah,
the most important.
because
Like as long as it's
like most
as
of the
long as
stuff
you're
I have to do
fine
is
knowing
like,
that what your routine is when you want to trade is when you want to trade and you do that every day, like I think you'll be fine because you're gonna like there's gonna be opportunities all day. Like
yeah,
you're
and
just gonna have like there's gonna be opportunities all day. It might be less during a window, it might be
Yeah.
more during a window, but like there's gonna be an opportunity. And as long as you're aware of that and you're fine with that, like then your routine is it's yours. It's fine.
okay.
But mine basically wake up. I get up pretty early. I get up at like 4.
Yeah.
But that's just because I like to be up early. I find that's when I'm most productive. On the flip side, I also go to sleep like super early. Like I go to sleep at like 8:30, 9.
Jesus.
So I get up at like 4, and I shower, come downstairs, and I write my trading affirmations. So basically, just things to remind myself before I get into the market, and also write down my goals for the day. Then after that, I just do like a quick look on like one pair that I might be looking at for that day. So like the night before, I should have looked at like all the pairs that I was looking at. So I guess to go all the way back in the weekend time, I look at like pretty much every single pair because that's when I have the time, or every pair that I trade right now. And then I have my like, things that I want to watch for the week. And so basically I'll be checking like a different one each day throughout the week based on how like different things are moving, but of course like flipping through each of them. But basically what I'm saying is like I'll pick one based on, you know, basically where structure is and everything like that to do like some deeper analysis on that morning. Because I think that will probably be my opportunity for the day. Uh, do some deeper analysis on it. And then after I do that, I like, close the chart out. I watch some like quick content just to kind of like keep my mind on trading, but not think about like trading, for example. And then after that, I'll meditate very quickly. And the reason why like mine is so like much is because I wake up so early. Like I give myself the time to like do all of that stuff before anything happens because like I'll get done all of that and I'll get back to my chart and then I'll still wait for like 3 or 4 hours for like an opportunity to show up or something like that. And like I'm perfectly fine with that because like that's generally the time I was going to be in front of my computer anyway doing work, right? So it's like I can be in front of my computer at that. I know I'm going to be in front of my computer at that time. I know I'm not going to be disturbed at that time. And when I start working, I know that like, for example, if I have a 9 to 5 job, which I'm going to have, like I know that it will give me enough time to be sitting in front of my charts to trade before I go into work. So that's kind of where like me, waking up at that time kind of comes in and it kind of just works out because I wake up at that time, right? Like kind of to D Hart's point, I knew what my lifestyle was going to be when I graduated, right? And I knew that I wanted trading to fit into that lifestyle. So in order to do that, I had to make sure that I, gave myself enough time to, have that had that fit into my lifestyle. And so, it kind of just worked out because I'm an early riser and it's whatever. But yeah, that's basically my pre-trading routine. But on top of that, I just wanted to get into what is a process or routine that you want to implement, you think you need to implement, and why do you think you need to implement it?
I guess I'll take that one first. A process or routine that I would like to implement. Well, there's one that I like, kind of what you said about doing your daily trading affirmations. I've been doing that, but not consistently. Like I sometimes I forget, because like my notebook's like right here, but I forget to do it every morning or like every time, like right before I go into the market. It's very sporadic. Like I write the dates and like you can see the dates, they're not consistent at all. So I feel like that doing that consistently will definitely help my process, just because I remember you were telling us one time that like saying something you'll remember it like once or something like that, and then like writing something down, it's like 7 times more likely that you'll remember it, or something
Right.
along those lines, right?
Yeah, that's what I
And
said.
like that I get the logic, like it makes sense. It's the same with like studying, with like school. You want to like write stuff down instead of just like thinking about it, you know what I'm saying? So like, but I would definitely want to like improve on that and add that consistently.
Right. And I think too, like once you start doing it consistently, you'll think like, oh, like where's the change? Like where's the, the breakthrough? But like you won't even realize it. Like you'll just look up one day and you'll just be like, oh yeah, like I think like that now. Like I was just thinking about it
Yeah.
the other day, about a loss I took. And like I saw a loss and I was just like, huh, look at that. All right, well, and then I
Well,
was
look at
just like,
that.
oh, well, like that's crazy. Like, I've been trying to tell myself that for all of this time, for months now. I'm the main person who hates losing because I just hate being wronged. And like, that's another thing that I used to tell myself. I was like, there is no being wrong. Like I tell myself in my affirmations, like there's no being wrong in my trading. It's just the market. It's just probabilities playing out, right? The market's just being the market. So there's no right or wrong. So, and I really started to think that way. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. It just kind of just happened without even my knowing about it. But Zay, what would you say is a routine that you want to implement going forward?
So along with what D Hart just said, because I do want to implement that too. But something you said earlier about how when you like it's part of your routine. So like I hadn't really thought about this yet. So it's a good little thing for when I'm actually making my routine, like trading live. How when like on the weekend is when you like analyze all the pairs you trade and whatnot. And like and then like from then like when you're trading like during the week, then you'll look at like one or two pairs.
Right.
So I think I like that because honestly I never thought about that. Like and I'd always felt like I was trying to stretch my I guess stretch myself thin in a way, like where I'm trying to like look at every single thing at once. So like maybe doing that on the weekend and then like keeping myself more like focused like during the week would be helpful for my routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to kind of touch on that, I think it's very important just because, especially for a newer trader, or like if you're starting with a new strategy. So, I didn't do this with my old strategy. I do it now. And I have seen the benefits, like again, the light years of benefits that it has made in me feeling comfortable in my new strategy, because kind of like you were saying, I was stretching myself thin. Like I was missing opportunities because I was trying to catch every single thing like in the same day. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't like preparing myself like, okay, like this is more closer to being ready than this. So I should probably just focus my energy on that. And so then like I saw that once I started putting in more time in the weekend, I started missing way less opportunities in the market. And like missing opportunities is just as bad as like, taking a bad opportunity. I think like missing good opportunities that like you can take and that you're open to taking, right? Like what I'm saying is like, because we definitely have that discussion about exposure, there's definitely a fine line there, but like saying, all else equal, you have the opportunity to trade and you just don't take it because you just weren't at the chart, or you just didn't know about it because you were worried about something else that wasn't as good as a setup. I think that's just as harmful as like taking, bad trades or bad entries or forcing your entries, just because it's like, I feel like oftentimes we think like all of our fixes have to be in our losers or something like that. Like every single thing that we've done wrong isn't a loser. But I think we can forget sometimes that even winning a trade, like especially with trading, because it's like you think that the outcome is what proves to you did something right, like winning a trade or losing a trade proves whether you did something right or wrong. But like we often forget that you can do something wrong and still win a trade.
Yeah.
You can do
And you
something
can do
right
everything right and
and
lose it.
still lose a trade.
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of where it comes from. And it makes it harder for you to miss trades when you spent the whole weekend like saying like, oh, well, this is probably going to be the opportunity that's really set up for me and like really makes sense to take because of X, Y, and Z, different confluences that I have in my strategy.
So kind of on the flip side of that, the only reason, I mean, that I completely get that, and for your strategy that makes sense, just because like you trade on like what time frames do you trade on? The daily? Daily,
I
weekly,
use
or the
I
4 hour?
enter on the 1 hour.
Okay, so you enter on the 1 hour, but where do you do your analysis?
I do multi-time frame, so I go from weekly down to the 1 hour.
Okay, so yeah, but for like my strategy, like I tend to trade on like lower time frames, so like the 15-minute and stuff like that. So like forecasting, I feel like that doesn't really work for my strategy, just because like it's based off of like, it's not based off of indicators, but like it uses indicate like what the indicators are doing as confirmation of like what the market is doing, and then like I see a push off of
Right.
a certain area
No.
and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I can't really
Okay.
forecast, or like if you have any ideas on how
Yeah,
I
I'm just gonna say, I'll just make this one quick point, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll get back to it. But basically, because I basically heard Austin say the same thing, like pushing back against forecasting, and I think it gets a bad rap just because of the way you say it, like forecasting, me trying to say like I know what's gonna happen or like anything like
no,
that.
it's not
No.
knowing that you're gonna have
What
like,
basically what I'm saying is, all I do is I tell myself when it gets in certain areas, these are the type of opportunities I'm going to be looking for. So while I hear you that like your strategy is way more on the 15-minute, like I even enter on the 15-minute sometimes, like I use it as a filter, but I still know what's happening on the weekly, because it's like I know that like this is an area that I want to trade from, or because of I saw this weekly candle close, I know we're likely to continue in this direction or that direction. So while I might trade on the lower time frames and take advantage of shorter term moves, I still understand what's going on in the longer time, higher time frames. I'm not saying you're wrong and you have to understand what's going on with higher time frames, but I think like forecasting gets a bad rap in that people think it's people saying like, you know, oh, on the longer time frame or in this time frame or in this period of time, this is going to happen. Like, it's just me saying, if this happens in this area, then I'm going to look for an opportunity. And these are the type of entries that I'm looking for if it gets in that area. So it's like, I'm not saying that you have to forecast. If you don't, fine. But like, you know, that's just why I do it. And it kind of makes sense for me. And it's definitely helped my trading a lot. But we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get back to it. Yeah, so let me take a quick break. All right, so just to kind of finish off the point that I was making, and I think, you know, because when Austin said that, he was like, oh, you know, don't try to, don't try to say what's going to happen next, react. And like, I thought about, like when he said it, like I really thought about it, because it's like when somebody who's successful says something, like you actually want to give it some thought. Don't just write it off just because like, you know, it's not, you know, something that you personally do. So like I gave it some thought. I really thought like, okay, you know, what's the benefits between forecasting, reacting, yada, yada. And I thought about it and I was like, no, I do still react. Like I forecast areas and I forecast things that I might be looking for in certain areas, but I still have to wait for certain things to happen. So it was like, you were saying you wait for like, maybe like y'all use EMAs, right? Not
Yeah.
SMAs. Yeah, you wait for like maybe like an EMA bounce, right?
Yeah.
Like, so a bounce off the EMA. Like I'm waiting for this type of pattern formation. So I'm waiting for a bounce off of this. So it's like, I'm still reacting, but it's just like, since I trade like patterns and I don't have that like indicator to help confirm like what it is that I'm doing, like it's just easier on my psychology for me to tell myself, okay, when it gets in this area, that's when I'm gonna be looking for good opportunities to do X, Y, and Z based on the higher time frame. So it's like, for example, like I'm trying to think of a pair right now. USD CAD, when it got to this like higher, like the high that it just made before it made that like major retrace, I told myself if it got to that area, I'm going to be looking for selling opportunities. Now, a selling opportunity didn't come that fit my plan and fit my rules, so I didn't take anything. You know what I'm saying? But I was telling myself, if it gets there, I'm looking for selling opportunities.
Still showed you where to look.
So that's just kind of, you know, so when it gets there and when I look at it in real time, I'm not like should I sell here? Should I buy here? Like, what should I do? I don't know. Like, no, I'm telling myself, no, I should sell, because I told myself based on all these other things that I did analysis wise this weekend, that a selling opportunity would be good from here. And a selling opportunity fits my plan because of X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. And that's kind of where like forecasting comes in for me. It's more so, you know, do this when this gets here, react that way. You know what I'm saying? So, and this kind of goes into answering the next question that I was going to ask. And that was, what is one process that you've implemented recently that you feel like has drastically improved your trading? And just to kind of start, because I've started answering the question already, forecasting is one for me. And again, it's not something that you have to do. For example, I'm sure she's not going to hear this, but I'm going to shout her out. She's one of Austin's students. She's, you know, she was actually used the same course that I use right now as well. Her name's Amber. I don't know if y'all remember meeting her at the meetup.
Yeah.
Like, I still keep in contact with her on Instagram and stuff. And that was one thing that she told me that she really liked about like Austin's course compared to Falcon, was the fact that like you can do all of this work on the weekend with Falcon. And like I said, I did all this work to set up for a USD CAD trade from the top for a sell, and it never came because the opportunity didn't come. But like with Austin's stuff, you just show up and like you react, right? Like, I'm not saying that like that's all you do, like you don't put any work in the end. Like you definitely have to put in work on the back end, but like it's way easier in that like you show up in the market every single day and react to what it's doing off this indicator or that indicator. Cool, right? And so I will definitely like say that there's some give and take there. But I think for me personally, and like what works for my psychology and what I'm trading right now, I think that forecasting has like helped my trading leaps and bounds, because like I said, when we get to those areas where I might be looking for certain opportunities on the 4 hour or the daily, you know, daily / the weekly, because they're basically the same, not the same chart, but they're basically the same chart, you know, that type of stuff. It makes it so much easier for me to enter the trade, like when the time comes. And so that's kind of one thing that I feel like has helped me in my trading for sure. And then also it shows me, you know, what is my bias? Like, what are trading opportunities that I try to take all the time? Because it's like, if I save my forecast and I go back through them, I'll see more of a certain type of forecast than another. And then I realized, okay, that's something that like I think about more often, or I expect to happen more often. Is it something that actually happens more often in the market, or is it just something that I like to trade more often? Should I even forecast these other opportunities? Blah blah blah. Like it helps me like realize what is something that I'm seeing in the market often, what's something that I'm not seeing in the market often, stuff like that. So that's one process that I think is definitely.
Is it based, not based, but is it more stuff that like you're comfortable trading? Like
Yes.
are the okay.
Right. So for
All right.
example, I was just going through my strategy today and I was realizing, I was going through my back testing, I was realizing, I was like, I've really taken like none of this certain type of trade.
Mm.
So I was like, I should probably just take it out. Like, why would I leave it in there? Like, I never
Is it
forecasted.
why do you think you don't take that type of trade? Is it because you don't see it? You don't like you're not confident in the setups when they present themselves? Like
I don't, I really couldn't tell you. Like, I honestly started thinking about it myself. Honestly, like I said, like I just realized this today. I need to like, I'm not saying I'm going to take it out of my system because like you said, I need to give it some more thought and think about why isn't that I don't see it. But like, I don't think it's that it's confidence. I think it's just the other stuff makes way more like it just sticks out at you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah,
Like
different things stick out to you. Yeah.
like the other like the certain type of setup that I'm talking about, it takes a certain amount of like, oh, okay, like I see it now, like a bit of like discretion. I'm not saying that like I'm forcing my what I'm seeing on the market, but like a bit more of like basically what I'm saying is it doesn't just stick out to me. It doesn't like scream itself at the chart of me. And I'm not saying that that's a bad setup. There's people out there that use Falcon that trade the type of setups that I don't really trade all the time, and they trade them very profitably. But it's just for me personally, I just don't really see them. Now, whether that's because I'm doing confirmation bias in my back testing and just continuing to not see them like in my own back testing, that's going to be something that I have to like see through back testing. Like I'm going to be focusing on that in my back testing going forward. Like I'm going to be like specifically looking for just that opportunity. Like I'm definitely going to take like a couple days, like this weekend or like over the next few weeks, just back testing like that type of opportunity. And then like see what the data I get on it is like and compare it to the other opportunities that I take now and see if it's something that I should, put in my plan. But for right now, I don't really have an answer to your question, but I'm definitely like thinking about it. But like just to kind of flip it on its head, what is a process that you think you've implemented that definitely helps or has helped?
Um, to be honest, I'd say the meditation, just because like going into going into the charts with a clear mind, like you might not think that it'll help that much, but it really does. Like
Right.
it allows you like your mind is clear, and then you can just see what the market is doing for actually what's going on, instead of like having
And I
things in your head that like might
affect what you're seeing.
affect what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you made a good point there, which I wanted to make, but then Zay just started, that great conversation that we had about like the first thing that you said. And so basically like I've seen the same benefit like with meditation, but to a different extent that it's kind of like when I was trying to get better at meditation, because like I'm very much like a overthinker, like I'm an analytical person. So it's hard for me to like quiet my mind sometimes. Somebody said something very like poignant to me, and he was like, it's not about like not thinking and quieting your mind. It's about like letting stuff happen in your mind and just understanding that it's there, observing why it's there, like maybe understanding why it might be there, observing that it's there, and just being like, okay, and then just letting it pass. And it's kind of the same type of
Yeah.
like mindset that you want to take to the markets, like not forcing anything to happen, but like, okay, it's there. Why, maybe it's there
Yeah.
because of this, this, and that. Okay, well, can I do something about it? Can I trade it? Basically, is what I'm saying. No, I can't trade it. Yes, I can trade it. Okay, I should trade it. Okay, then I shouldn't trade it. Same thing with meditation. I have a problem that keeps popping up while I'm trying to meditate. Can I do something about it? No, I can't do anything about it. So should I worry about it? Probably not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it might be something that's really like something you should worry about, but like more often than not, when like there's a problem out there that like you can't really control, it's better just to let it go. So like I definitely think meditation is something that, you should look into in any way, shape, or form if you're a trader, whatever it might be. And don't think that like meditation is just sitting with your legs crossed, doing like this.
No, all meditation is you're literally just sitting there.
Yeah. I lie down sometimes and meditate and just listen to like
I can't
people
lie
like
down
yell
and
at me.
meditate or else I'll fall asleep.
No, facts, me too. I can't. I really. I have to. I literally sit in this chair and just meditate.
But Zay.
honestly, sitting sometimes is dangerous for me even.
Nah, my head be too big, bro. I be trying to hold
So
my
what do
head
you
up
do?
while
You
I'm
stand up?
meditating.
Right?
My shit just be
I
rocking.
mean,
That's why I lie down sometimes.
hey, bro, it'd be like that.
But Zay, what's a process that you've implemented like in your back testing or anything like that? Or just in your trying to like, get to that point of starting to trade live?
I guess I think you might have mentioned this earlier, but I realized I also started doing it. I don't even know if we were recording when you said it or not, but like, like it's like that. Basically, I trade in silence. So like, what it means is I don't even listen to music. I don't watch
You're a
TV.
psychopath, is what you're
No,
saying.
it allows me because if you know me, you know I'm easily distracted.
Yeah.
Like even if I'm just playing like music, even if the music got no words, bro, I guarantee you I'm gonna get distracted. So like it's just knowing myself in that I'm easily distracted. And like, bro, even when I got the like everything off, I still get distracted. So
Yeah.
like, so I think it's just reducing that. But it's reduced it a lot to where the point where I'm much more productive when I'm on the chart and when I'm actually like doing work. Because I don't just do it when I'm trading. I do it now like when I'm doing
Homework. Yeah.
So
And I think too, maybe if you've seen this, was once you like go back to watching TV after you've done what you've done, you feel so much better about watching TV.
oh, for sure.
Like you're just
Yeah,
like,
because
I can
one, you
actually
can
just
actually
sit
pay
here and
attention to
watch
it and
TV.
just chill. Yeah.
Yeah, like you drink a beer, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like it's whatever. But I think just to kind of like bounce off what you were just saying, and just kind of going off script, do you feel like do you feel like you like do a lot of stuff like in silence? Because like I've been kind of like messing around with like different apps, different like music. Like I mentioned earlier that like
It depends. It depends on what I'm doing, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
for
I'm the
example,
same
with
way. I'm the same
like
way.
creating the website and stuff like that, I would usually have like a video in the
Yeah.
background, but like the video is like
About
like
websites.
educational stuff. It's not even about like coding or anything. It would usually be about like so this guy Graham Stephan, I watch his videos a lot. Like he talks about like real estate investing and like personal finance. So like I would have his videos on in the back, kind of just like as a podcast type thing,
Yeah.
and then I'm just like working on the website or like doing whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing like homework and stuff like that, then I'll get too distracted and I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's mostly for like personal projects that like I will listen to stuff in the background.
That's interesting. I'm actually like almost the complete opposite, where trading, the only things now that I listen to in the background when it comes to like back testing or if I'm doing analysis in the mornings, which kind of works out because it's like what's on in the morning. Basically, the only thing I can have on TV is like Bloomberg or CNBC, just kind of because what you were talking about is like to the dude like Graham Stephan, like I can kind of tune it out. Like I can listen to it, but not really be listening to it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of just like there for me. And like it doesn't ever distract me when it comes
and like
to
I'll pick up stuff like subconsciously. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Or I'll just be like, I'm like at worst, I'll be like, oh, that's interesting, and I'll stop for like 2 minutes and I'll listen to what they're talking about, and then I'll go back to what I'm doing. But like, it's just kind of a refresher anyway. So it's like it's not like I stopped for 15, 20 minutes. Like I stopped for like 2 minutes and went back to it. But I've also like tried listening to like, I've ever heard like alpha brain waves, stuff like that. This app called like Brain FM, which play like alpha brain waves, and then also like music and stuff. But then when it comes to homework, like I can't do homework without watching TV. Like I really can't. Like if I'm like thinking of content that we make, like if I'm trying to like think of like content for us to make or anything like that, can't do it without watching TV. Like I have to put it on because I feel like it just puts me in a state of like, I think all it is about putting myself in certain states. Like when I'm like listening to only like CNBC or Bloomberg or like watch or only listening to like music or like alpha waves or whatever this stuff, like I'm in a much more serious mindset. Like I'm serious about school, but like I don't want to take it too seriously because it's like it's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? And like I found that when I took my school too seriously or when I like stressed over it too much, that's when I was like wasn't as good in school. So like I'm kind of the complete opposite. What about you, Zay?
I kind of need to like lock in when I'm doing it, or else I'm not gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Because like whenever I'm doing work, like I need to be thinking about that work, or
Yeah.
else I'm gonna get like distracted by something else, and then like I'll become like, then it'll get to the point where I'm like all over the place, you know. So like doing that, like when I'm like all over the place, then I start to become just like completely unproductive. Like
Right.
I stop getting any work done. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm like, if I really need to like get something done, like then I'll do it in silence. But like if it's not due that day, or like maybe in like that week, then yeah, I'll throw on the TV or
Yeah.
something like that.
I think what it is too is like I do things that I like to do that seem like work, like back testing, stuff like that, where it's like it's work, but it's not really work because like I want to be doing that. Like I want to be getting better at trading, stuff like that. I do those types of things in silence, whereas like because like I know I'm gonna give my attention to it because I want to be doing it, right? Whereas like homework, like I'll do that with the TV on because like I feel like once I found that when I just try to just sit there and just do homework with silence, that I'm thinking about everything, like kind of like you were saying at first, where it's like when you have something else on, like you just get easily distracted. But then like I feel like when I'm doing homework, I just easily get distracted by the silence. Like the silence is easily just like, and it's not even just, no, it's not even just like, that's what I was about to say. It's not even like, oh, I hear a sound. Oh, I hear this. It's more so just, how long have I been doing this? How much longer do I need to keep doing this? Oh my God, this is so terrible. I hate this so much. I hate doing this so much. Like, I feel like when I put the TV on and I do my homework, it's way easier for me to just kind of fall into it and then like look up and be like, wow, I've watched 2 episodes of Family Guy while doing my homework. So that means I've been doing my homework for like 40 minutes. That means I've done homework for about 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like, okay, yeah, I see that.
And it's
But
like it's gonna be different for everybody. Like I just said that and people are gonna be like, you're crazy. Like I'm sure if I said that to my mom, she'd be like, I don't like that at all. But like, it works, it's different for everybody.
so that's all
Right.
that matters.
Right. I've gotten to this point.
Right? No, like, but if I'm doing that, like, and I'm like doing work while I'm watching TV, I'll notice more often that like I'll be like, oh, I did there's 2 episodes of Family Guy, whatever, that's 40 minutes or whatever. But I'll look at my work and I'll have like a sentence. And I'll think, oh.
Yeah, well,
I don't fall into it. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
like as easily. So like if I like really need to get work done, then I'll like pause the TV. I'll have the TV like on, but I'll pause it, do my work, and then like if I notice it's been like 30 minutes or something, maybe I'll go watch like an episode, then go back to work.
Just kind of to talk to that, because I did want to touch on that too. I feel like it's very important to take refreshers in your work and in the time you spend working. For example, I have a goal to back test every single day for 2 hours, but the most I will ever back test in one sitting is 45 minutes. Like after 45 minutes, no matter where I am, like even if I'm looking at a trade at that time, like am I back testing? I'll stop, I'll get up, and I'll go do something else, or I'll go watch an episode or something, just because like I need to like refresh myself. So yeah. But it's kind of be different for everybody, right? Like you got to find out what works best for you. Do you want to, D-Hard, did you want to like maybe like end on like, what works best for you, like working wise, anything like that?
You're on mute, dog.
You're on mute.
Oh, so what works for me is basically just trying to be as focused as possible, because like Zay, I do get distracted easily. Like I will literally be sitting here and like if a bird flies by my window, I'll see movement and then like I'll look. You know what I'm saying? Like I get distracted easily. Yeah, basically. So like
I'm telling you, bro. Like I just
so like I yeah. My like the key that I figured out is like trying to just be as focused as possible.
Okay. And you just do it like straight silence, no music, nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But I do have multiple screens, so like I guess that kind of scatters my focus, but like it's still all
Right.
based off of what I'm doing.
Actually, I do have one caveat to what I said. Like, if I need to get like, if I have a deadline that's like coming up, like, and I like have a time crunch where I can't really take breaks, then I'll listen to music, like just so I don't go insane.
Yeah.
Like, if I have the time to take breaks or whatever, then I'll work in silence.
Yeah. That's good. And I think it's, we just kind of wanted to end with that discussion because I think it's very important to think about what, as we always say pretty much in every episode, like what works best for you, you know what I'm saying? And not even just with trading, but actually like work. So like getting work done in trading, it's very important. So understanding what works best for you when it comes to back testing, what works best for you when it comes to doing your analysis in the morning, all that stuff. It's all about, thinking, I've done it this way and it hasn't really been working. And you got to try it and you got to take the time to, mess up and suck at stuff and that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And we're kind of all in that point now. And that's why we like to have these conversations because it's hard. It's easy to get lost in it and to kind of like never really look up and audit, where you are right now and where, what you're doing is taking you. That's kind of always the most important thing to do when it is with, when you have goals and everything is to make sure that you're auditing where you are right now and what the current actions you're taking right now, where they're likely going to lead you. Because if you don't, you're going to likely look up and be in a place you don't want to be in. You know what I'm saying? So, if no one has anything else, we can just end it there for today. I think it's been a pretty comprehensive discussion about like processes and routines and, what we can do to do better and like what we think has helped us. And also how we work, a little bit. And hopefully it's helped, you all open up that conversation in your own minds. There's definitely one of those episodes where we just want to focus more on like opening up that conversation for yourself and thinking about, for yourself, what is it that works for me? But we have nothing else. That's it. This has been the Traders Corner podcast. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're finding some value, as we always say. We hope you just provide some value to anybody out there who's a little bit earlier than us in the journey. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you provided some value. Join us again next time. Thank you.